Here are today's top stories. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. affirms his administration's commitment to universal health care through the implementation of the Zero Balance Billing Program in hospitals. The Philippine National Police favors rehabilitation and counseling for minors apprehended during the anti-corruption protests on September 21. The Presidential Communications Office leads the Philippines' hosting of this year's International Day for Universal Access to Information Conference. The Department of Tourism vows to champion a tourism sector that brings long-term benefit to both communities and the world. This is the Pna Headlines. I am William Theo. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. expressed his administration's commitment to improving universal health care in the country through the implementation of the Zero Balance Billing or ZBB policy in government hospitals. The President visited the Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital and the Medical Center in Batac, Ilocos Norte on Sunday, where he joined hospital officials in inspecting the implementation of ZBB. The program provides for the out-of-pocket expenses of eligible patients confined in government hospital wards. According to Dr. Jose B. Orosa III, Chief of Medical Professional Staff 2, over 61,500 patients have already benefited from the Marcos administration's program, which has fully covered hospitalization costs amounting to 1.43 billion pesos. The President also affirmed his focus on maternal, child, and critical health care services as he visited the hospital's kangaroo, mother care, and neonatal intensive care units. Meanwhile, the Office of the President distributed 2,076 meals to patients, guardians, hospital staff, and volunteers. The provincial government of Ilocos Norte also provided 1,800 food packs, while the Office of House Majority Leader and Ilocos Norte 1st District Representative Sandro Marcos distributed 750 10-kilo sacks of rice. Last Saturday, Marcos visited the Alfonso Ponce Enrile Memorial District Hospital in Cagayan Province to check on the implementation of the Zero Balance Billing policy. The Presidential Communications Office said the provincial government fully supports the ZBB in the district hospital. Marcos also announced plans to expand the medical assistance for indigent patients program and open specialty wards for cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and dialysis care in provincial hospitals. Meanwhile, the President led the PhilHealth Yakap Caravan in Santa Ana Fishery National High School, where learners, teachers, and non-teaching personnel had access to medical and dental services, psychological first aid, and free medicine. He also oversaw the distribution of emergency kits to 100 learners and food packs to 100 school personnel. The Philippine National Police is in favor of rehabilitation and counseling for minors involved in the anti-corruption protests on September 21. The PNP issued a statement following the release of 55 minors and 25 adults who were arrested for violent acts during rallies in Mindiola. PNP Acting Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. said rehabilitation and proper guidance should be part of the process of accountability. The PNP also urged parents, guardians, and local officials to guide the youth and prevent similar incidents in the future. Mayor Isko Moreno said the Manila Department of Social Welfare had required the 55 minors to render community service by joining cleanup drives as part of their rehabilitation, reintegration, and diversion. As for the 25 adult protesters, Nartates directed investigators to coordinate actively with prosecutors to ensure that charges are properly filed and documented. Nartates also stressed that the police respects due process and legal procedures, especially the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act in the case of children in conflict with the law. He said the PNP ensured the safety and rights of those apprehended and that they were turned over to the appropriate authorities. In other news, the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, leads the celebration of the International Day for Universal Access to Information as the global conference hosted by the Philippines this year opens today. The PCO welcomed international delegates in a reception at the Hilton Hotel in Pasay City on Sunday. The event gathers about 200 key information commissioners, international experts, practitioners, and advocates of the right to information. With the theme ensuring access to environmental information in the digital age, the conference provides a platform for sharing best practices in promoting and implementing access to information as a human right. The conference is done in partnership with UNESCO, or the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, and will be held until September 30. In 2015, the UNESCO General Conference declared September 28 as the International Day for Universal Access, which the 74th United Nations General Assembly reaffirmed in October 2019. The Philippine government joins the world in championing a tourism sector that brings long-term benefit to both communities and the planet. In a statement, the Department of Tourism said the transformation must be sustainable, one that builds stronger communities, safeguards natural and cultural heritage, and creates opportunities that endure. The agency added that through responsible development, green practices, and inclusive growth, the Philippines is charting a path where tourism becomes both a driver of prosperity and a guardian of tomorrow. Meanwhile, the DOT also honored and recognized the contributions of all Filipino tourism frontliners and stakeholders in strengthening the Philippines' position as a leading choice of destination. This year's theme, Tourism and Sustainable Transformation, highlights the potential of the tourism sector to become an agent of positive change. In our business news, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas started a probe into the big amount of cash flows in the financial system, which may be linked to anomalous flood control projects. In a television interview, BSP Governor Eli Remolona Jr. says the agency is working hard to address the issue. Remolona added that they are trying to identify the big flows of cash throughout the financial systems, both unusual large flows of cash and financial transactions. So far, most of the transactions were through government-owned financial institutions. To reduce money laundering and other risks linked to the use of cash, the BSP issued Circular Number 1218 Series of 2025 on September 18, limiting the value of large cash transactions to 500,000 pesos per banking day. Remolona vowed to make it harder for those involved in the flood control mess to take money out of banks. In other news, the Aurora Pacific Economic Zone and Freeport Authority, or APECO, and medical device distributor Freya Trading Incorporated signed a joint venture agreement to provide medical equipment and train personnel of APECO Super Health Center starting this December. In a briefing, APECO President and CEO Hil Taway IV said the agreement will boost job opportunities for people from Dinalungan, Kasiguran, and Dilasag who are expected to be initial staff of the Super Health Center of the Kasiguran-based Freeport. Taway added that Freya has the bigger share in the revenue sharing from those services for around 3 years, allowing them to recover their cost. Both companies are set to submit documentary requirements to the Department of Health to secure the health center's authority to operate, and initial services include X-ray provision, basic laboratory, ultrasound, and pharmacy. Completed last February, the daily operation of the 16.83 million peso Super Health Center will be handled by the International Workplace Group. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. And it is finally only 87 days to go before Christmas. Stay with us for more news updates. I am William Theo. This is the Pna Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.